The Perfect Pencil from Studio Seema is a fairly traditional 2D action platformer in an admittedly crowded genre, but it's elevated by the psychological narrative and thematic visuals. You take control of John, a man withdrawn from a world that he watches pass by at great distance. He envisions that distance as a terrifying corridor of darkness. The game begins as a headless John plunges into that darkness, awakens on a beach, and receives a new projector head from a seemingly friendly repairman. A flashback of a white, snarling beast establishes the primary villain, before he sets off to discover more about the world he now inhabits, and a way to escape, if that's what he really wants. Shortly after entering a mysterious, mouldy, and mushroom-filled forest, John pulls a pencil from the foot of a trap man. Unfortunately for John, this new secondary antagonist, despite his lamentations, was quite content with an excuse to stay put. Wielding the pencil like a sword, John sends him fleeing, and the Perfect Pencil settles into a comfortably familiar rhythm. But, having said that, it quickly becomes clear your choices in dialogue, and your willingness to assist many of the characters you encounter in the world, could influence John's ultimate fate. You need to resist the completionist urge that most video games expect, and think before you fulfill a request. Now, or at least based on the demo, the Perfect Pencil has already nailed the foundations of a good action platformer, with responsive controls, precise platforming, and pattern-based combat. John runs, jumps, dashes through dense, interconnected zones. Using his new projector head and a convenient radar, he can also scan objects and characters, both for insightful observations and hidden quest-related items. Wielding the pencil, he can slash in multiple directions, including while airborne, and builds up a combo meter to perform charged healing strikes. It's perfect for topping up your health by slaying basic foes after a tough battle, but it can also be used mid-combat if you can master the timing. The boss fights are, of course, multi-phase battles that'll test your reflexes and the ability to find a gap to land a hit. John's upgrades come in the form of lenses for his projector that can provide a potential buff, but you can only equip so many simultaneously based on their combined power. It remains to be seen how deep the combat gets, or how extensive the player upgrades are, but first impressions are satisfying. Of course, like any good game in this genre, the world is packed with hidden passages, optional encounters, riddles that will lead you to stashes, and, mercifully, the ability to record important clues so you don't always have to backtrack. The Perfect Pencil uses scattered checkpoints, and it has respawning enemies, but getting back on track after death never took too long, as you can avoid most of them. Despite its incredibly compact size, the visuals on the Perfect Pencil are fantastic, thanks to a combination of thematic designs, detailed animations, and solid technical performance. The opening beach is dark and oppressive, as John stumbles forward like a deer in the headlights. The first major area you encounter, the soft forest, is filled with characters literally trapped by their habitual misery and laziness, sporting a mix of vibrant green mold and pink noxious mushrooms. Colourful blankets, pillows, cradles, and bottles litter the environment, while the enemies manifest as variants of literal man-babies. The animations are detailed, smooth, and expressive, from John's traversal and combat movement to enemy attacks and their pitiful overwrought death animations. No, there's no voice acting, but the expressive and tonally appropriate mumbling is quite effective. Unfortunately, the general audio and music felt subdued and mostly underutilized. Maybe it's just the nature of the demo area, but I feel a more dominant soundtrack would go a long way towards bolstering the atmosphere. Based on these early impressions, the Perfect Pencil doesn't stray too far from genre standards, but my brain kept thinking back to Hollow Knight. Always a good comparison in my books when it comes to gameplay and world structure. The psychological themes, both in the narrative and visual design, are intriguing, and I'm curious to see how many aspects of mental health they'd be willing to explore. If you're a fan of 2D action platformers, want a more thoughtful narrative, or simply crave mechanically satisfying gameplay, give the Perfect Pencil demo a go when it's available, maybe stick it on your wishlist, and watch on if you want to see a little more gameplay.
Du bruger det. Jamen, jeg Sebab dia buat, dia buat dia buat. Apa yang buat dia gimana? Nah, dia buat dia. Ni apa yang dia buat? Dia apa dia yang buat ni? Nhiều quá chứ. Ya mua. Sebab dia buat dia buat. Apa yang buat dia gimana? Nah, dia buat dia. Ni apa yang dia buat? Dia apa dia yang buat ni? du wurde. Nie mehr dabei. What up? Yeah. Bắp gì giữa bộ đồ quay nó bên nhau qua được chứ mà nhỏ ghép mà điều như mua tụi bắp gì giữa bộ đồ quay du wurde nó bên nhau qua được chứ mà nhỏ tụi bắp gì giữa bộ đồ quay ghép mà điều như mua nữa bên nhau qua được chứ mà nhỏ tụi bắp gì giữa bộ đồ quay du wurde nghe mấy đâu bay ghép mà điều như mua nữa